Here we go. We on the air? We welcome everybody. Let's see here. We're on the air. You guys let me know where you're coming at me from. I don't think I'm seeing something. I don't think I'm seeing it yet.
Yeah, it might jump on right at 5 maybe.
Oh, okay.
See, it says you're on the air.
We on the air? Guys, how to add a $100,000 lead source with $5 leads and without having to hire a team to do it. What? This stuff is so incredible, guys. It's changed my life. So pumped to go over this with you guys tonight. So I'm not sure if you guys are on or not. We're kind of playing around here. We've got another minute or two before everything starts here. I see the number, the count is rising like crazy. If you guys, if it'll let you, put in the comments. Let me know where you guys are jumping on from. I'm in Phoenix. It's actually kind of a cloudy day here, but it's a beautiful day in the Valley of the Sun. We're having a good time, and I was so pumped for this live training tonight, like I said. So welcome. I see you guys are just jumping on in mass numbers. Again, how to add a $100,000 lead source with $5 leads and without having to hire a team. So I see we got Marcus out in Memphis, Tennessee, checking in. What's up, my man? We got Sean in New York. We got Robert says hello. How's it going, guys? As you're jumping on, and I know people are jumping on like at an insane rate right now. Holy smokes, it just whoop, I can't see everybody. There we go. Washington from Raleigh, San Diego, California. Hello. Houston, Cleveland, Ohio. What's up, guy? Okay, so whatever it was, there it popped. I was like, there's way too many people online. Was not enough comments. I knew something was going on. I can't even keep around. Indiana, Cleveland, Dallas, Baltimore, Miami. What's up, everybody? All great places. All places where real estate exists and deals exist and wholesale profits are to be made. So I'm excited to talk about getting leads, getting tons of leads, and that means tons of deals. Obviously, we get tons of deals if we have tons of leads. That's how it all works. So I'll talk about that tonight. I'm really excited, guys. So again, I see people are still jumping on at a crazy rate. It's 5 o'clock out here on the West Coast, which means it's 8 o'clock on the East Coast, and we're going to jump into it here in just a minute. Hello, everybody. I can't even keep up. Orlando, Terrence, Georgia, Philly, what's up? Buckeye, Arizona, right here in Phoenix, Maryland, Gainesville, Florida, Philippines. Wow, sweet. All over the place. So cool, guys. Again, guys, I'm going to jump right into it. So what we've all came for, guys, cold calling on steroids, how to add a $100,000 lead source, right, with $5 leads and without having to hire a team. So let's jump into it, guys. Many of you know how to do deals, and, you know, you just need more of them, right? You know that to get more of them, you need more leads. I literally live by the mantra, leads are the blood of the business, and marketing is the heart that pumps them. This masterclass, guys, is so much more than how to do an assignment or how to get deals sold, etc. Okay, this training and the resources take your lead cost down to as low as under $20 consistently. We get campaigns where we get leads as low as $5. They're predictable leads. They're constant leads and consistent leads, right? It's so much more faster than direct mail. I'll get into all that stuff. But guys, if you're out there and you're spending money in direct mail, you know, in most markets right now, it's $300 to $400 to get a lead. We're upwards of that right now in Phoenix. I've seen that cost rise in my own business from $250 just as recent as back in 2016. And now, like I said, we're paying closer to $400 a lead with our direct mail, which is why we're so heavy on cold calling on steroids. I'm going to tell the story here tonight, guys. I'm so glad you guys have joined me. And we've got almost 400 people right now on the live webinar, and I know there's going to be more just jumping on. So, guys, this is an exciting topic. Obviously, you guys are all excited, and I'm so excited. So let's get into it. All right, guys, make sure that you stick around till the end, okay? We opened up 20 spots with this current masterclass, and we're currently planning this one to be the last master's class that we're going to do, okay? So we've got 20 spots. Already 8 of those have been pre-registered to current flip hacking students. So make sure you stay through the whole thing, guys, if you want to register to the class and jump in right away, all right? Now, I know many people on here might be new or newish, okay, to wholesaling and wondering if something like this is maybe for you. And I'll touch more on that, but yes, okay, anyone who is serious about wholesaling and being successful in this business should put their first marketing dollars into the education that is going to consistently bring affordable leads forever, okay? And that's how you're going to make it in this business, crush it in this business, and stay in this business. And this will always take care of your problem, guys, of not enough deals by giving you constant leads that are instant and highly affordable, okay? Now, I'm guessing for a lot of you, this is probably not your first thought to add cold calling into your business. You might already be doing cold calling on some level and be wanting to know how to step it up to a massive level, right? So the first thing I want to do is mention that if you failed at getting phone deals in the past, it's probably not your fault, right? There's a lot of information out there, a ton of misinformation as well, and it can be confusing. Many times that information overload keeps you from success, okay? That's okay. If you are having success, but you want to crank it up and get the steroids, all right, you're in the right spot too, okay? So if you've been concerned in the past that you can't succeed with cold calling, guys, like I said, I want to put those fears to rest. You can do this. You just need the right person to explain it to you and give you the right tools. So guys, your local competition wants you to think you need an enormous marketing budget to succeed in beating them to the deals, or that you'll need all the cutting edge online marketing tools. And I'm here to tell you that they're wrong. Okay, they have their reasons for thinking that, but it's not true. And if you've ever thought outbound cold calling was hard work or time consuming, you are absolutely right until now. Hence the cold calling on steroids. Okay. So are we on the call center? Got the call center up. There we go. Look at that. So I want to show you guys this slide because look, many people would rather manage a whole team of hourly paid employees to do the cold calling for them. That's how much they don't want to just sit there and call all day like they know they need to if they're going to get a lot of leads this way. Now, they have their reasons for having a whole call center in place, but that's not the best way either, and it's not the most cost effective. So they just don't know the secret sauce to turn it to be all automated, okay? And so that's what you're here for. I know, right, that you guys are serious. You're here, you're live, you're ready to go. Right? You're acting on the Facebook groups, you're on these channels, you're getting educated. And I know you're serious about doing deals every month. And I know you're serious about making a ton more money with the fraction of your direct mail or your Google pay-per-click budget. And I want to show you how to make that happen during this webinar, okay? So, guys, my goal for this presentation then is to help two types of people, okay? For those who are newer to wholesaling, or those who are already doing multiple deals per month, okay, you'll get the opportunity to learn how to make a ton more money in your wholesale business, create more time and freedom, and achieve your personal goals much, much faster with this added deal source. Does that sound awesome? Like, if you guys like that, let me know. You're like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. I would like to have a lot more deals and have them be a lot more affordable so I can crush this thing and continue to do these awesome wholesale assignments, okay? So, like I said, who would like to do that? Who would like to learn how to get leads super cheap, make a ton of money, and crush it in this business without having to fear, right, and have the fear of spending thousands of dollars per campaign forever and pray you get a deal to at least break even on all those expensive campaigns? So how many of you would like to be able to say you spend $2,000 a month and make anywhere from $25,000 to $250,000 a month? Does that sound like a pretty good business model? Would you guys do that? So you can spend more than $2,000 a month with cold calling marketing, but even with just a couple $1,000s, like I said, you can do a six-figure wholesaling business per month because you can get your leads so cheap and so instant on demand. So you've just got to know how to do it, have the right resources, and know what to do to work the process. And that's exactly what cold calling on steroids is and why it was created. Guys, I created this system for doing cold calling on steroids. Everybody's like, what is RVM? Is this that? What is, like, no, but that is where the idea came from. So this is so much better and a fraction of the cost of doing that or anything else out there with cold calling. And I created the system because I've been doing it the longest. I know how it works the best. I've had the most success with it. I never set out to be known as the cold calling on steroids guy. But after years in the business, I'm in my office right now, we're with wholesale deals. Like, we just closed the deal just a couple hours ago, sent out an assignment, and we're going to close on that one next week. And we're constantly doing deals. But after years in the business, guys, and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on direct mail and on Google pay-per-click marketing and on other online forms of marketing that we tried to do, and cold calling, I've mastered maximizing my marketing spend ROI and keeping that cost low to have a business that a lot of people only dream of. And I'll get into more of that here in a little bit and what the difference is. And when you're spending so much and what that really looks like, and are you keeping all that, and what does that do to your stress versus when you can keep your low overhead, right, but still have enough leads to generate multiple wholesale deals and crush it and have an awesome life. And so I know exactly how to get the leads, how to scale the process, and have it change your business and your life. And I know these things firsthand. Like I said, I do them every day in my own business. We cold call on steroids every single day. So like I said, I know that's what you guys are here for. You've been waiting, and I finally have opened back up the doors. I've been getting bombarded with messages about it, and I would have done it sooner if we weren't so busy crushing deals in my wholesale office here in Phoenix. But we've made the time and are ready to take you by the hand and change your business and change your life and implement the best marketing lead strategy ever. Okay, so are you guys excited? If you are, please let me know in the comments. Guys, I really love the feedback and the energy. It's awesome. Let me know you're with me and that you're following along, and let's do it. Let's have this be the dot that changes everything. All right, so guys, ladies, I know you're serious about doing more deals every month. Okay, I know that. And you're serious about making a ton more money. And you're serious about cutting your marketing expenses down or making a ton of money with low marketing expenses and increasing your revenue way up and making as much money as you can wholesaling real estate. And so, again, this presentation, guys, is to help two types of people. For those who are newer to wholesaling or those who are doing multiple deals per month. So you'll get the opportunity to learn how to make a ton more money in your wholesale business and also to create more time and freedom, right? You'll achieve your personal goals much, much faster once you have cold calling on steroids in place. So take a minute and think about, I think we might be a slide back. Oh, no, yeah, the other way. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Yeah. So take a minute, guys, and think about what your life would be like if in 6 months you had leads and deals on demand and you knew exactly, precisely how to make the phone ring with them at a highly affordable rate. So, guys, I've got to say, it's a great feeling, right? Being down at the beach house with the wife and kids on the weekend and knowing that we have leads pouring in on the phones every day to go back to and work and close deals and get money to keep coming into the bank account, right? So we can keep doing this and have an awesome life and a business worth owning. So guys, my goal for tonight's web class is to make it crystal clear to you that number one, the only way to consistently do more deals for a low cost is through cold calling. And number two, the only way to cold call successfully and not be leaving tons of money on the table or be missing deals or doing it wrong or not doing it at all is to do it through cold calling on steroids. So you got to be cold calling. You got to be cold calling on steroids. All right. So for those of you who don't know, guys, my name is Joshua Gayman, and I'm teaching this information because I've made millions of dollars from cold calling for wholesale real estate deals. I'm a member of Sean Terry and Kent Clothier's top-level real estate mastermind billionaire boardroom. This was recently featured actually in Entrepreneurs Magazine's top 10 business masterminds. It was pretty cool. And I've also been a licensed agent for 8 years, been flipping properties since 2009 in Phoenix, Arizona, as well as in Portland, Oregon. And I've bought and sold, and guys, most passionately wholesaled, right? That's what I love. That is like, I call that, that's the main line of this business. Millions of dollars in wholesale fees. Because I love flipping a house and making a big profit. I've had some really big flips, and I love having a rental property pay itself down and make a ton of money when I go to sell that and buy other rental properties. All those things are amazing, and I love them in real estate. But I tell you what, guys, there is nothing that beats having somebody call me back, say, how'd you know I was interested in selling my house? And we call them and we say, well, I don't know. We just called a bunch of people that had the criteria that met what we were going after, and I guess it was just meant to be. And you ink a contract on a vacant house or a house where there's tenants in it or whatever the situation is, and you close a week later and you've got a check in your hand 10 days or less from the time that you got the lead to you're getting paid. Now, even if that's a $5,000 or a $10,000 or $20,000 assignment check, that is freaking exciting. I mean, how many of those would it take to change your life? Okay, especially with cold calling on steroids, because now, holy smokes, I don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to get a deal, right? And I don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get leads, right? I've got a system that can affordably, predictably, consistently give me deals. And that's why, like I said, that has been the key to everything for me in this business. So do any of you know how sometimes life seems to play cruel jokes on you and put you through times that maybe at the time you have no understanding of why? And these times can just seem to be pointless challenges to just make life tougher. But then later on, something happens and an opportunity presents itself that you never would have been able to identify without having gone through those struggles first. Well, I had that happen to me in a really big way. Guys, let me take you back well over a decade, okay, to a Phoenix Chevy car dealership where I was standing on a 110-degree sales point. A sales point, it's a physical location in an auto dealership that salespeople have identified as the best place to stand and spot incoming sales traffic onto the car lot. And so you stand there, someone pulls in and you say, up red car. And then you're the salesperson who gets to go up and greet them and try to sell them a car. Now, it was so hot that it was over 100 degrees. And I just moved to Arizona from Portland. And it was so hot that if you stood in the same place for more than about 30 seconds, the soles on the bottom of your shoes would literally begin to melt. So at first, I thought they were only allowing one salesperson outside at a time because of the heat. But what I actually learned after coming inside was that they had 10x the amount of salespeople needed for their actual incoming traffic. So instead, all of these salespeople that they would hire were really phone lead generators. And what they referred to as their sales team was really a cold calling on steroids team. Now, the quota for the day for all sales personnel was to set 2 appointments per day. And you had to set 2 appointments before you could go home, and you'd check into your manager at the end of the day and say, I've got 2 appointments confirmed, and then they'd let you go home. And if you weren't hitting your quota of 2 appointments, then your odds of getting any of that warm foot traffic that was already coming into the store from the expensive marketing that the store is paying for, your chances of getting those leads were pretty slim to none if you weren't getting those 2 appointments on your shifts. So if you're not setting any of your own appointments from cold calling, they weren't going to just give you any leads that were already coming in from their much more expensive paid advertising, like I said. And so I started to see what they were doing here. They would hire 10 times as many salespeople as they needed, put everyone on the phone so that they could get insane amounts of outbound phone calls out generated, which would bring them tons of leads. Now, the showroom areas were set up with tiny tables all over the place. So we've got the showroom and tiny tables all over the place, and each table contained a phone and a computer where salespeople would sit and make their cold calls. And the space was designed to also sit and work a car deal with customers, but really 90% of the time was spent just sitting alone in your air-conditioned space, smiling and dialing for hours, trying to get them 2 new leads so you get your appointments. And leaving on time for the day without setting those 2 appointments would be challenging for anyone. Your best shot, if you didn't have 2 set up and confirmed appointments, was to have 100 recorded contacts that day for your efforts. And truthfully, it would sometimes take several hundred calls to set just 1 appointment. And what was so interesting to me was that how the auto industry turns something like cold calling, an outbound prospecting tool that has stood the test of time, and turned it into an enormous lead generation machine. Now, when I say they took something that's been around forever and is the most time-tested and proven model, and it is a prospecting model, and turned it into something that was marketing, meaning now people are coming to them because they've created a system to do it, right? That's pretty incredible, but they had to use people to do that. It's almost like slavery. So what I mean by that, it's a prospecting model, like I said, is all these people are going to them. They've got so many people doing it. So they were turning this into a lead generation machine by leveraging people. They had 10 times as many salespeople as they needed. And really, they were all just marketers for the dealership, like I said. So they were just using people to accomplish cold calling on steroids. Now, it's important to understand here the difference between marketing and prospecting. Again, guys, prospecting is when you're going to the customer looking for leads. And then marketing is when you typically pay a lot of money and have leads come to you. Okay. Now, usually this takes a ton of money to make happen, like I said, except for in the case of cold calling on steroids. And well, I guess it does take money, but it's like minuscule in comparison to anything you can do to predictably, consistently bring in scalable wholesale deals. Okay. So we'll get into that here in a few. In essence, like I said, the auto dealerships had turned cold calling into marketing through leveraging mass employees, right? The problem for me, like many others, was that making a living from selling multiple cars per month on the output of phone calls was a true challenge. Many weeks I worked over 70 hours, and most months would take home under $5,000. And I was a salesperson who would consistently sell 8 cars a month and hit that quota. My weekends were gone. Finding time to hit the gym was a struggle. And basically, I was always frustrated outside of work because I would have to go back to work the next day and make more phone calls. My one day off would typically be a Tuesday, which really sucked. And so obviously, given this type of work environment, the turnover at the dealership was incredibly high. It was not uncommon to see 20 new salespeople per month cycle in and replace 20 leaving. And so through a ton of sheer will, determination, and thousands upon thousands of cold calls, all right, I was able to get successfully promoted to sales manager. And one day where I would actually later realize that just like the sales people's jobs were really to cold call, my job to manage sales was really to manage outgoing call volume for the team. I was like the cold calling on steroids manager, if you will. I didn't really like that job, by the way. Now, if you're thinking that this was just one dealership's way of doing things, know that the dealership I'm referring to is the #1 Chevy store in Arizona and is owned by Berkshire Hathaway. Now, this same model is used throughout most mega dealerships around the country and has been for decades. Larry Miller, Van Tile, Lithia Motors, etc. And after several years of working in the car business, getting beat with cold calling, follow-up, and grueling hours, I began to read up on real estate and attend the local, REIA meetings and getting myself educated and informed, like a lot of you guys are doing. And while working hard towards my goals of full-time real estate and my first deal, I became a master sales closer from cars, out there selling cars. And knowing that with the numbers of real estate being so much greater than cars, I knew I'd only need to do just only a few sales to replace my auto sales income, right, with houses. And so I took the jump into real estate. This was 10 years ago. So I know to be successful and take the island, guys, like Tony Robbins says, you've got to burn the boats. And this is true for anything you really want in life, whether it's to be a successful wholesaler, business owner, family person, or anything else. You've got to commit 100% with the best mental state possible and decide you are going to succeed no matter what. And I hope that's the mindset you have coming to this webinar and into the master's class. And so I burned the bridges of being an employee and I dove into real estate. And I was so grateful for all that I had learned in car sales. While the old desire had been to get out of working for someone else, the internal journey that I had gone on had transformed me into someone who was much, much more acutely aware of not only sales, but also marketing, specifically from cold calling. And so now those two things have played the biggest impact on my success from a technical standpoint in real estate, sales and the marketing. Now, you obviously don't need to learn how to sell cars for 5 years or work at a Berkshire Hathaway-owned mega dealership to understand the significance of results from cold calling on a big scale. Here's how most wholesalers traditionally get scalable deal flow. And you guys on here doing a lot of deals already know this well. They pay a ton of money for direct mail and Google AdWords, right? There's some other online marketing sources that you can do. They're expensive, okay, and complicated. And here's why that's hard. You have little control over timing, and you have, really high costs. And so with cold calling on steroids, it makes this awesome lead source scalable, and you don't have to pay thousands to get deals like with direct mail. These leads are cheap, and they're amazing. So how many of you guys want cheap leads? How many of you want amazing leads? If you do, guys, if you want cheap, amazing leads, again, put that in the comments, fire me up here, let me know. Because seriously, guys, this stuff is unreal. So guys, cold calling on steroids makes this, everybody's like, yes. It's like going quick, I can't even read it. So guys, cold calling on steroids makes this awesome lead source scalable. And you don't have to pay thousands to get deals like with direct mail and Google pay-per-click. These leads are cheap and amazing. And on top of that, you will get these leads that never will or would have called anyone that just sent them a piece of direct mail. Many of these leads also often aren't going on Google. So what I'm saying is you're now going to get a segment of people because there's some people that are just never going to respond to direct mail, right? And there's some people that maybe would never respond to a cold call as well, right? But in my experience, people are much more likely to respond to a call than they are a piece of mail. Why? Because they can hear tone and voice and all that kind of stuff in the cold call. And then it's incredibly cheaper. We'll get into that here in a second. So not only has this worked for me, we have current students all over the country absolutely crushing it with cold calling on steroids. From California, Arizona, up to the Northwest, New York, Philly, Texas, Florida, many other markets all over the place in between, Chicago, Tennessee. There is literally, and you guys will see some of that and probably have, there's literally not a market in the country that cold calling on steroids does not work in, okay? Small markets, it works. In fact, usually you get a higher response rate in rural areas. But if you're in a smaller area, obviously your area of total homeowners is going to be less. It's a smaller area, but your response rates are typically higher in those areas because they're less competitive. Versus like Phoenix, one of the most competitive markets, if not per capita, probably the most competitive market in the country. And we sit here and just dominate with cold calling on steroids month in and month out, even with telling the world that we're doing it, and sharing the secrets. I've got a couple students here in Phoenix, and there's so many leads out there, we don't even really cross over each other. It's awesome. Guys, not only has this worked for me, like I said, students all over the place, it's just crushing it. And guys, now that you've heard from and seen just a small sample of our recent student success, right here, here's what we're going to cover during the next 45 minutes or so, okay? Secret number one is inbound cold calling, and that's how to turn the most proven, time-tested prospecting method of cold calling into instant, consistent, and profitable inbound leads for your business. Then I'm going to get into secret number two, which is app hacking, and that's how you use automation to replace the would-be hours spent on the phone or need for a cold calling team. And then, guys, secret number three, this is my marketing budget hack, and this is how to get inbound motivated seller leads as low as $5. Okay? So, okay, who would like to be able to turn the most proven, time-tested prospecting method of cold calling into consistent and profitable inbound leads for your business? Does that sound like you? Amazing, right? I mean, have leads to work every day. All right, so diving in. Okay, secret number one, how to turn the most proven, time-tested prospecting method of cold calling into instant, consistent, and profitable inbound leads for your business. Guys, let me tell you another quick story. You guys remember when I told you about working at the car dealership and how it could take several hundred calls just to get a single appointment? I remember sitting there one day, staring at a blank computer screen, frozen solid. I'd only been there a couple days, and the thought of making cold calls, honestly, it terrified me. My hands were sweaty, even though my body was cold, and my mind was racing with thoughts of how I could get out of making these calls. And then I thought I had the excuse. So I walk up to the sales manager, and I tell him, like, I don't really know what to say when I call these people. Now, luckily, I had managed to sell 2 cars, actually, in my first 2 days. So whereas he probably would have ripped into most FNGs, right, as a car business acronym for blank new guy, he instead took me, patiently into his private office and started cold calling right in front of me so I could observe with him and learn. What was insane to me was that he said the same thing over and over and over and over and over and really didn't care what the response was unless it was an answer that meant they were a lead. And then he would continue with his script and ask some qualifying questions. After that, I realized I just needed to get my tone down in delivering that same qualifying opening phrase he asked on every call, and the numbers would work themselves out. And that message was so simple, like, do you want to buy a car? Or do you want to sell your house? So what's amazing is, just like any other lead source, it's a pure numbers game that works so simply. X amount of homeowners are always going to be in the market to sell. It's the same reason that wholesaling isn't going anywhere. It's not going away because there's always going to be real estate. People have it, and so there will always be buying and selling. And a percentage of those people don't want to go through the headaches and just want to sell wholesale. In fact, that percentage is going up at a very high rate right now. And there's always going to be homeowners currently looking to sell. And if I can call X amount of those homeowners per day, I know I'm going to reach X amount. That means I'm going to get X amount of deals. And now I can put that on steroids through an automated system, which is pretty cool. And the cool thing is that the numbers of cold calling don't just work for me. It works for all kinds of people. Like I said, in all markets. It really doesn't matter if you can't get over the routine of asking the same question over and over and over and over again, because you don't actually have to do it. You're probably thinking you don't know what to say, right? Well, I've perfectly scripted that message, which I've used for years. You might have heard it. I've seen it float around every major wholesale Facebook group. And honestly, I think that's fantastic. I saw someone actually had typed it out and posted a PDF of it inside of one of them recently. And I thought that was pretty funny. And I was like, oh, that's my script right there. But there's so much more to it. And so I was like, that's awesome. That will help whoever sees it. But there's a lot more to it. And now I'm going to give you that exact script with my tone, right? The actual MP4 file inside the Cold Calling on Steroids members site. And you can actually listen to that script. Does that sound cool? And from teaching others this method, I've learned that one of the biggest keys is to have the tone correct on your call. If you sound like you're a script, they aren't going to call you back, at least not to talk about selling their house. I recently had someone tell me that they copied my script and they weren't getting any leads. And when they told me the call volume of calls they were making, I immediately knew something was off. And I'm like, okay, you're doing enough volume of calls, like something's broken. I don't know yet what, but yes, something's definitely off. So I'm like, let me hear your message. I say, and she pulls it up and we listen to it. And she looks at me and she's like, I know I sound a little bit like a robot, but I wanted to make sure I got your script down word for word. And I laughed and I explained to her that there's only 3 key points in my message to generate a callback, and that the tone I used was actually much more important than the exact order of every single word that I say. Now, it was an easy fix for her, and as soon as she re-recorded the message, focusing on just a few key points that she's telling the seller on the message, and making the message come across as completely authentic and natural and in her tone, she watched as the leads started just pouring in. And she actually called me like the next week. it was like 2 weeks later actually, because she went back the first and then made the change. It was like a week later before all of a sudden she's like actually freaking out. And she calls me and she's like, Josh, I don't know what to do. We have more leads than we can actually manage. So I'm like stressing out because I'm like, which ones are, I'm like, what a great problem. Like, okay, sweet. You're good. You've got leads. And we talked about that. And she's like, how do we sort through it? So I'm like, here's how you qualify them. And we talked mindset and closing and growth, and their business has never been the same since. I mean, seriously, explosive growth. And this is in the Southern California market. Very, very competitive, hard market. So I'll give you guys all of that too, like what you do when you have insanely high amounts of leads coming in. Like, how do I deal with that? Do I hire a leads manager? What's that look like? So that's why cold calling on steroids was born, right? Because I kept getting these questions in DMs and phone calls and emails. So I was like, let's put this together to make it simple for people who are ready to take on leads, right? And be leads beasts like this, right? And go beast mode. So now I've shown you how you just need to record a simple message, and using the cold calling on steroids system, you can generate tons of money, generate tons of people to respond to you with, yes, I am interested in selling my house. Isn't that awesome? Because that means money, like I was saying. So isn't that amazing? I mean, you can literally record a message, hit a button, and you have people calling you instantly that are like, yeah, I want to sell my house. What will you give me? Like leads, just like you get from direct mail, but now it's costing you like nothing per lead almost, as opposed to hundreds of dollars for just a single lead, like with direct mail. It's amazing. I mean, all right, guys. So secret number 2 then is how to use automation to replace the would-be hours spent on the phone or need for a cold calling team. Now, from 2009 to 2014, I made a ton of money cold calling for real estate deals. And so now I've gotten out of the car business. I'm in real estate. I'm still doing tons of cold calling, prospecting, where I'm calling them, right? A lot of energy budget, a lot of work. I had a couple callers and stuff, and we could only make so many calls ourselves. Mostly being only one person that did not want to manage a huge team of callers, like so many of my friends, who didn't seem to be making any more money for all the time and money they had to spend back out on the payroll. I was limited in what I could scale for my business, doing the calls myself and with such light help on the phones. So in 2014 and the start of 2015, I had gotten to a good place with scaling direct mail, but the high cost and competition were always there with direct mail. And so back then I would also often call our mail list through like a dialer. And this is where I came to the realization that it is actually much more time effective when people do not answer the phone. And the reason being is that with cold calling, you can spend a ton of time talking to chatty Cathys that don't want to get off the phone, but never had any intention of selling their home. This also means it doesn't matter if I was physically leaving the message hundreds of times or if I was recording it once and automating it all, which means I can probably actually just get one perfect message, so it's going to be even better. So then one day I was sitting at my desk dealing with some mail leads. My partner, Mark, he brought up a conversation he just had with a local rehabber who touted having 30 fix and flips going on simultaneously here in Phoenix. 30 deals, I gasped. I'm like, what are they doing to get a huge pipeline like that? The guy had explained to Mark that they had a low marketing budget and that all the deals were actually coming off of cold calling. Now, you remember that story I told you about how the mega car dealerships have mega cold calling teams to get the volume needed to use it as a consistent and highly profitable lead source? Because that's key to what was coming together for me at this moment when Mark was telling me the simplicity of what this rehabber was doing to find deals. And the light bulbs come on as I now saw a way to get out of mass cold calls every day, sitting there and, without having to hire any callers and without trying to hold myself accountable to a task that is truly unsustainable and unrealistic, like sitting there dialing like Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness every day. And that's why most call centers have turnover on average of under 30 days, because people get burnt out quick doing that. It's a grind. That cruel joke of going through the car business has paid off again. First through my sales training, but now through marketing insight that has been 100% been a golden goose. It just keeps delivering gold and business explosion in the form of assignment fees and wholesale deals through cold calling on steroids. Back then I had beta versions of cold calling on steroids go out the next day, right? I had the epiphany. Next day I've got beta versions going out, and immediately we had leads pouring in. When you send out that many pieces of marketing, in this case, I think you can click that and he'll dance too. I don't know, the little Carlton guy. When you see Carl's supposed to be like, however he dances. When you send out that many pieces of marketing, in this case with two dynamics, the words you say and the tone you say them in, you can't help but consistently getting leads that are ready to sell now or in the next 7 days. It's crazy, you guys. I mean, not every single lead is going to be ready to sell in 7 days. Some you're going to have to follow up with, and you're going to get a little bit of everything, just like everything else. But yeah, I mean, you make tons of calls, you're going to come across, quick deals. Like, that's how it works. You got to have enough marketing going on. People look at people like, how does that guy always get lucky? Gosh, look at Josh's Instagram. How does he always have so many deals going? Guys, we're doing cold calling on steroids every single day, 6 days a week. That's how we're doing it. And I'll show you guys, I'll tell you exactly all my secrets in the masterclass, okay? So seriously, when you get solid leads that instantly that are that good, this is what it feels like. Is this a Carlton guy over here? Now, over the past 4 years, we've improved the system to unheard of levels in the industry. Hence the wholesale household phrase, cold calling on steroids. The reason this exploded is because it works. Guys, I'm not a guru, okay? Any of you that follow me know I'm a silly guy that loves to wholesale houses and have a good time with my team at work and my family outside of the office. What I am is 100% as my good friend Max Maxwell puts it, a do-roo, okay? We generate hundreds of leads in our Phoenix office every single month, and we've done so for years now, making millions of dollars with several hundred thousand dollars months, okay, off of this one lead source alone over the years. Here's the first house. I remember closing from cold calling on steroids. We made over $35,000 on this property by wholetailing it. About a week later, we closed on our second deal. It was a mobile home on owned land, which we made a super quick $12,000 assignment fee on. And this doesn't just work for me. I have a friend in the business who many people know who literally abandoned direct mail after I shared my cold calling secrets with him. This guy is a guru and does over $100,000 a month in wholesaling. He tried to do it his own way first, and he went out and he hired 4 callers and he had a partner manage all of them. Within 2 months, he had completely converted over to my system. So, guys, here's our 2017 cold calling numbers. That's just from this one lead source here. And we did that with 1 acquisitions guy and 1 leads manager in 2017. Okay. So you're probably thinking, that sounds great, Josh, but how am I going to figure out how to piece everything together and make this happen, right? Well, not only have we learned many things to get our costs down insanely low as we've ramped up our call volume over the years, and certainly we've gotten much better lists, phone number lookup resources, what to say, etc. But we've also completely mastered the entire process from outgoing click of the cold calling on steroids campaign to the list, frequency of calling those lists, volume per day and per week, and lead intake process to make the entire lead machine amazingly simple and profitable. Whether you are here tonight with a limited monthly marketing budget or you can spend at will to get as many leads as possible to your team, we have a route to implement the system immediately and turn your business into a profit monster with cold calling on steroids. We are always keeping our eyes peeled for updates possible through new technology and keeping all of our current and past masterclass students aware through our private Facebook community. In fact, once you join the masterclass, you become part of an elite group of wholesale investors all over the country with access to each other in this exclusive private Facebook community and also in the member site. With this network, there's such incredible information and support. With the cold calling on steroids system, we've made it so simple that I could literally have my 13-year-old daughter, Lizzie, run an entire cold calling on steroids campaign and dump the leads right into my email or cell phone. So now I've shown you how to use automation to replace the would-be hours spent on the phone or need for a cold calling team. Like, how sweet is that? You can use automation. You don't have to spend hours on the phone. You don't have to go out there and hire a team. You can tomorrow have a call center going on without having any of the headaches and payroll of an actual call center. It's amazing. All right, guys. So secret number 3 then is my marketing budget hack. And this is how to get inbound motivated seller leads as low as $5. Okay. Now, I remember when I first started doing direct marketing for real estate deals. It took me more deals than I'd care to admit to get out of the deal-to-deal mentality, right? And start consistently setting aside a little bit of marketing and growing my marketing budget. So that way I would always have funds to stay consistent with my marketing, which means I'd always have leads coming in and therefore deals. But hey, direct mail is really expensive, okay? So a lot of you know what I'm talking about. You go deal to deal because it's like, I need more deals then to be able to get this thing going, right? Once I get going, I'll be good. I got to get my engine going. So after spending tens of thousands of dollars already at the time on direct mail, you can probably imagine how excited I was when I found a connection to get my wholesale marketing message to targeted lists through the phone for 2.5 pennies each versus the 40 pennies to 70 pennies each I paid to mail them. Now, depending on which mail piece, right, or post house or whatever, but you're between 40 and 70 cents typically with direct mail. Now I was looking at costs at 2.5 cents, and they're even lower now. I'll get into that in a minute. It just gets better and better. This means I could now get the same amount of leads for $125, okay, through the phone that I would have had to spend, that I was spending $3,500 to get through direct mail. That's a 97% reduction in marketing costs, guys. Like, I'm not the best person in math of the world. That's a 97% on your highest expense in the business. And I know all big wholesalers out there agree that the highest cost is marketing, with payroll typically being second. But with cold calling on steroids, you can keep your marketing spend and your overhead incredibly low. So this is how I make hundreds of thousands of dollars without managing a giant team and stressing about overhead every month like most big business owners do, which they don't tell anyone because they want to keep their image up, especially the gurus, right? But geez, guys, I have to tell you, it kills me. So many of these marketers I see that barely have any deals, if any, going on, and many of them are still teaching people to spend on expensive direct mail. And what's incredible is through the evolution of the cold calling on steroids system and now into the 2.0 platform, we've gotten the cost even lower, down to less than a penny per record. Yes, so that's less than 1 penny per outgoing message to a homeowner. It's a lot better than 40 cents or 70 cents or $1 with direct mail or anything like that. And because of the savings we've orchestrated through the best list provider in the industry, we're able to afford to buy lists and the best lists and call them all. So I hope some of you guys are thinking right now, yes, Josh, drop the freaking link so I can get in. Whatever it is, let's go right now. I get it. In fact, I've even been getting those messages like crazy all week. So in fact, I know several of you were already at that place prior to this training, and I appreciate your patience. If you weren't already in Flip Hackers and one of the students who was able to pre-enroll, shout out to my Flip Hackers. And then thank you for your patience. And to the others of you who you will have the opportunity here in just a few minutes to jump into the private master's class. So how amazing is it, guys, that we can get our costs down under 1 penny per outgoing message to home sellers, okay, versus 40 cents or 70 cents or over $1 with direct mail. And to think that there's gurus out there saying, drop more direct mail, drop some mail, drop more mail, makes me absolutely cringe. Guys, ladies, all of you, you just need the correct info and help to implement a proven success model, okay? We're not talking going from $1 to 70 cents or from 70 cents to 40 cents like with direct mail prices. We're not even talking about going down to 2.5 cents. Now we are literally talking about less than a penny. This is unreal, you guys. And I tell you where to get the best lists and how you get those and the phone numbers and everything. It's insane. So you have the best resources, you have the best processes and the best systems possible. And I'm telling you guys, it's absolutely game over when you jump into the class and take action from what I give you. You will level up quick. Because of these savings we've orchestrated through the best list provider in the industry, who I will give you all of that information as well with a discount, we are able to buy lists and call them all. Guys, I say that again because it's so key. And so through this system, it's really easy to do. We don't have to hire and train a bunch of employees. We don't have to deal with payroll. We don't have to make our life suck by sitting on a dialer all day long like Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness, okay? But we would if we had to, wouldn't we, right? Because we're action takers, and that's why we succeed. That's why you guys are all here. That's why 490 of you guys are still live on this webinar right now. And I think that's about the number that started out on this webinar. I know people are like, Josh, just tell me how much the thing is so I can get into the class and we can go forward. It's like, guys, there's so many big ahas I want you to have. Right? And when you get into the master class, there's ahas to really crush this thing. All right? I'm going to give them all to you. Okay? But this class comes with the keys and the instruction manual to succeed more than you ever could by manually dialing numbers all day, every day. You know? And you don't even have to do that. Again, it's not just me that this works for. A co-member who's in Billionaire Boardroom, Jerry Stevens out of North Carolina, had his marketing manager run through cold calling on steroids a few months back. And he got over 40 leads and 6 deals in his first 30 days. So now, you know how to get hot, motivated seller leads under as low as $5. How incredible is that? Isn't that incredible? Like, if you think that's incredible, type incredible, right? Guys, so let me ask you a question. if you followed what I showed you in Secret 1, and you allow the most proven, time-tested prospecting method of cold calling to give you consistent and profitable inbound leads for your business. And then you do what I showed you in Secret number 2, and you completely simplify and automate the entire system so that the only thing you have to do on the phone is talk to real motivated seller leads. And then because of Secret number 3, you can afford to keep it always going and always have consistent leads coming in at an insanely affordable cost, resulting in assignment fees and profits as high as hundreds to one return on investment. Do you think that would change your business and change your life? Let's look at Daniel Levers. Daniel Levers in Florida just made over $55,000 off of a $300 campaign. That was this week. He just texted me this week. I'll show you guys the thing here in a minute. Guys, that's a 183 to 1 return on investment right there with just that one deal. And he still has that list and those numbers, like he's and all the other leads from that campaign. Guys, we see this all the time, and these are unheard of returns anywhere else that I've ever known of in any other business or even within real estate, the returns that we get off this marketing source. And now that, Daniel has that list and those numbers, like I said, he can call that campaign every few months and pull more and more deals off of even less marketing spend because now he's already got all the list and everything. So I get DMs and text messages from students all over the country, literally every day, thanking me and telling me about deals they're getting with cold calling on steroids. Guys, I did a $120,000 deal from this lead source last year. And I go over exactly where I got that deal in the masterclass, by the way. And we closed 2 deals just here in March that just those 2 deals alone, we made we made a $71,000 profit on one wholesale deal and $60,000 assignment fee on the other wholesale deal. So that was $131,000 in March just off those 2 deals. We did more deals, by the way, in March, but just those 2 deals, $131,000. Cold calling on steroids. Do you think this could change your business and make your wholesaling business that much more successful? I know for many of you, your direct mail count per month is in direct proportion to your bank account balance and what you can afford to get out for the month. Well, look, that's not going to be a problem anymore with cold calling on steroids. Even with a huge marketing budget, you only need a small amount every month to get the volume of leads in order to level up big time right now because of the system. So you just have to get the system and know how to do it. And let me ask you guys, do you think this could change your business? Okay. Do you think this could make your wholesaling business that much more successful? So guys, let me ask you a question. How many of you guys are excited about what we just talked about? Are you guys excited? Who's excited about that? Like, please let me know in the comments if you guys are excited for cold calling on steroids. All right, good. I love it. Perfect. All right. So how many of you are feeling a little overwhelmed because you don't know what to do next and the best way to immediately take action and crush this thing? It's okay. You guys can admit it. How many of you guys are like, Josh, please tell me exactly what to do next, right? Like, let's do it. All right, let's go. Let's freaking do this, okay? So is it okay with you guys if I spend 10 minutes now going over a very special offer I created to help you guys implement cold calling on steroids? Is that okay? I see somebody said, the comments are coming in so quick, it's hard to read them all. Somebody said, if you're spending $500 on direct mail, you're wasting your time. And I would agree. Hang on a sec, guys. I'm just getting water. I'm not going anywhere. But I would agree. You're wasting your time. And you're wasting your money if you're spending $500 on direct mail because you have to spend so much more than that to get enough leads in direct mail to do it. Okay? Thanks, guys. I was getting dry mouth. I had to fill up on my water. All right. So again, is it all right if I spend a couple minutes here, guys? All right. This is a 4-week private masterclass, okay, with only a limited number of seats for optimal success, okay? I will take you by the hand to make sure that you immediately crush it, okay? I just got off the phone today with one of my students in Dallas, Texas, closing a $20,000 assignment fee next week. And he was like, Josh, I want more out of this. Do you have a minute? Like, I know, you're in between right now. We don't have another class here for another couple weeks because I let you continue to go into masterclass anytime I open it up. And I got jumped on the phone with him. I'm like, dude, and we were talking. It's awesome. I mean, guys, he's closing a $20,000 assignment deal next week. He told me the campaign, I think, because he bought a brand new list and everything for it. But the return, it was like insane. He got a huge list, called it all, cost him like $2,000, $20,000 assignment fee. And now he has this insane list, awesome database. And now he, like I was saying with the other guy, like Daniel Levers in Florida, they can sit there and get more deals out of this list forever. Right. So guys, here's what we're going to cover. Okay. Week 1, we're going to talk about the 3 hottest lists I use in cold calling on steroids and how and where to get mass phone numbers for them for cheap, okay? Then in week 2, we'll go over qualifying the calls to leads and how to automate that process. Week 3, we go live and we dive into the water, getting our campaigns out. And then finally in week 4, we are live in the ocean of leads together, okay? We're optimizing your campaigns and your personal game plan. Now, guys, the best part is you will have one-on-one sessions with me and access to me in this class, as well as, like I mentioned before, other master class students out there that are crushing it as well through the communities. It's amazing. After that, you continue to have access to me because guys, I freaking care that anyone who accepts my help in this business and burns the boats behind them to achieve financial freedom and success in wholesaling has every chance I can give them to absolutely crush it from the very start. So I was talking to Denny out there today. I'm like, dude, I could have been like, dude, you made 20 grand today. Like, you're good. I'll talk to you in a couple weeks. I'm like, dude, what's up? Let's go. Let's crush it. Let's get 10 of those next month, right? Whatever it takes, because Denny's got super high levels. That's why he went through the masterclass. I got Matthew up in Philadelphia, masterclass student from a couple classes ago. He less than 6 months in the business, $100,000 months. Cold calling, 100%. Cold calling on steroids. Crazy, guys. One of my favorite new cold calling student stories, though, is Dean. Dean was at a real estate investing seminar last year in which Sean Terry brought me up on stage to talk about cold calling. And soon after that, Dean contacts me and about coaching, and he implements some tips that I gave him about cold calling. Within 2 weeks, this is the text that he sends me. Now, this system is absolutely a must for anyone who is looking to get their first check or who's already successful and looking to scale, or wants to add more and more and more deals, even if you're already crushing it. So if this is something that you are considering, and if you consider yourself a serious investor, then obviously you are, make sure that you immediately send in your application. Like, seriously, guys, immediately, because last time I had people emailing me when the doors closed, but due to the value of this product being so incredibly high and my commitment to spend the time to personally make sure results are obtained for you guys, I have to keep the private masterclass to just 20 spots. So seriously, do not wait. This is not something you can afford to put off. Don't lie and tell yourself you'll get to it next month, next quarter, or after you do a couple more deals. Okay, that's the devil talking and trying to get you to procrastinate. Okay, be an action taker and do what you need to do to have massive success. Boom, plateau plomo. Guys, this is the lead source, plateau, that is an absolute must if you want to grow, if you want to get a deal now, or if you want to grow, and if you want to sustain in this business, okay? So guys, when you sign up, you're going to get access to my 4-week private master's class, a total value of $50,000. Now, as part of this package, you're also going to get a lifetime membership to my Flip Hackers community. This is a membership tool to help with all of the scripts, contracts, marketing systems, and more that I use in my own wholesaling business. This membership also teaches a buyer's list hack that has made me millions in properties sold, and it is an overnight game changer to get properties easily sold. I was telling you guys at the beginning about the property we just sold here a few hours ago. It's on my Instagram if you guys saw that sweet North Central property, and we sold it with this buyer's list hack, okay? And it's a cold calling on steroids deal, okay? So when you have this tool, you'll be able to get deals at a fraction of the cost of your other marketing campaigns and reach sellers that currently are not responding to you or your competitors' marketing channels. And when you have this tool, you'll be able to relieve the financial pressure caused from direct mail and Google pay-per-click marketing costs. When you have this tool, you'll be able to fill in any sales gaps with immediate leads in minutes. And of course, when you have this tool, you'll be able to get a significantly higher return on investment than any other scalable marketing source you've ever done and change your business forever. When I first started out with this stuff, I ran into a big roadblock. The incoming call volume we received from homeowners was so high that it literally overran our phone lines. We switched over to every major carrier, got the fanciest iPhone, but nothing would fix it. So I had to find a system that could handle the call volume and still keep the process simple by allowing someone else to monitor the incoming messages, skip forward and back while listening to the messages, save the files, and send the ones that were leads to me. And now back then, I had to spend so much money on vendors and systems to get it going, but I don't want you to have to recreate that whole wheel, right? I've already gotten proven systems in place. I'm just going to give them to you with this package. Does that sound cool? Now, there's no fancy coding or tech skills needed to set up the systems. It's super simple to get going and start getting more deals on way cheaper leads right away. So not only are you going to get access to my Cold Calling on Steroids 4-week private masterclass, but you're also going to get the Lifetime Flip Hackers membership for a combined value of $75,000. Now, to make this as simple as possible, I've recorded each step of the process in a membership site, okay, in which I am giving you access to come back and recall each step even after the 4-week class is over. So when you invest today, you're also going to get access to the Cold Calling on Steroids private masterclass members only site. This will help you after the class to always have the full content to come back to and recall on in all of your modules, and have your marketing people and lead managers go through all that stuff anytime you want. I had to go through so much frustration and overspend to figure out the best way to make the system work, but you don't have to do all that because I'm giving away the membership site reference as a special bonus. So guys, this bonus is going to make it faster and easier for you to set up this lead channel correctly and quickly, because you can go back and have me and my marketing managers hold your hand in all of the setup videos. And then you get on in live calls with me. Guys, you might be thinking this is all something you can figure out on your own, but unless you want to be like my buddy who hired a whole call center after I told him about cold calling on steroids and spent way more money in payroll doing it that way in frustration, and then came back around to listen more carefully on each step, right? If you don't want to be like that, then you should definitely just take the easy button and instant path and let me show you exactly what has been working for us for years now and made well over 7 figures for me, okay? So again, here's what you're going to get. Enrollment into my 4-week private masterclass. You're going to get a lifetime membership to Flip Hackers. Okay, you're going to get the members only login to go back and access the content anytime you want. This is a total value of $80,000. Now, obviously, guys, I see some of you guys like, I'm not going to charge you guys $80,000, but if I did charge you $80,000 and all it did was get you an extra $1 million in wholesale profits for your lifetime, would it be worth it to you? Right? And you guys are all on this webinar for a reason, because you know wholesale real estate is the money is a real legit thing. We see it happening every day. We're doing it every day, right? All of us, you guys on the webinar as well as me. So if all this system did was turn the most time-proven marketing model into consistent and predictable monthly deals for your business, would it be worth the $80,000? Okay. And if all it did was automated and replace the would-be hours spent on the phone or need for a cold calling team, would it be worth it? And made sure you had calls go out every single day, would it be worth it? And if all it did was got you inbound motivated seller leads for $5 forever, affordable deals every month on demand, would it be worth it? So I had 2 choices with this. I could go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible. But the problem with that is I couldn't really stack on any value for you and connect individually with students to optimize and make sure you guys have all the success in the world. So I decided to go with the second option, which obviously requires a slightly higher investment on your side. But in exchange for that, we can dedicate more time, more energy, and resources to help guarantee your success. So if you had the cold calling on steroids currently bringing you multiple deals per month at an insanely low cost per deal, what would that be worth to you? I mean, how much would you pay to have that successful lead source? I mean, you can probably see why people pay tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars for the same results from mail and Google, because we all know that wholesaling, marketing is not an optional cost. It's an investment, and it's an absolute must. Now, you've already seen how it's worth $80,000. And even at $25,000, which is what I've charged to help a couple investors implement this in their business, it's an incredible deal. But because I'm so excited, guys, to share this with a select group of investors totally committed to success and big whys, right? I'm going to give you a very, very special offer, okay? Right now, and only for this one-time opportunity tonight, I'm going to offer you admission into my private masterclass for cold calling on steroids for only $49.97, okay? Now, this class is not for everyone. And so there is a few application questions, which if you are not able to make it into the class, your money will be refunded immediately, okay? Now we've got 20 spots in the master class here, okay? So go right now to www. And don't forget the W, www.coldcallingonsteroids.com/apply and secure your spot. And I think you can also, there might be a link below you can click. If not, just go to www.coldcallingonsteroids.com/apply. Now, Guys, here is just a short sampling of messages received just recently here from masterclass students. So I can just pull up on my phone real quick. Yes, some pretty decent sized chats. These aren't even the biggest ones. Like I said, these were the ones I was able to pull up quickly on my phone, put together a slide, okay? So at this point, you have two choices, okay? And there's the $55,000 one down there at the bottom with the red circle around it that Daniel did this week. So at this point, you have two choices, guys. Choice number one is to do nothing. If you do nothing with the information you've learned over the last half hour, what are you going to get? Nothing. Or you can do the no-brainer and make a ton of money with this immediately. Just test it out. See if it doesn't start immediately giving you cheap, amazing leads. Now, the real question is it really worth paying $49.97 to see how to add this deal source correctly? Well, even if it only did half of what I just told you today, it would pay for itself multiple times over your first deal. All right, guys, so to recap, here's what you're going to get, okay? You're going to get enrollment into my exclusive private cold calling on steroids masterclass. Okay, you're going to get a lifetime membership to Flip Hackers. You're going to get members access to all the setup videos and training modules anytime you want, access to the past recorded calls with students, access to the private Facebook group only for cold calling on steroids students. Okay, this is pretty amazing, guys. So we've got 30 minutes right now. Jump in, make sure you get one of the 20 spots. We had 8 pre-registered for from Flip Hackers. Christian got with me. They figured a way that we can still do 20 full slots because we had, I think we're at 1,000 registrations for the webinar, and there's still over 400 to get you guys on here now live. Guys, make sure to jump in right now. I know people are already jumping in as we speak, so don't sit on the fence. Guys, Plato o Plomo. I love this shirt, okay? Bribe or the bullet? Bribe or the bullet? All right, and I wore this shirt today because a mentor of mine gave it to me with a good conversation about taking the bribe or taking the bullet. It was just recently, a few months ago, actually, in Orlando. And you take the bribe, you get what you want, he said. You don't take the bribe, you get the bullet. So in this case, the bullet is not having leads coming to you consistently and affordably, right? It's hard to survive in this business without that. So you've got to be committed, guys. You got to be all in. Plata o plomo, baby. Got to burn those boats. And guys, again, look at these checks that have came in recently. We have that slide. Yeah. Dope. Guys, all these. I mean, it's incredible. I get messages and DMs and emails and all the time from people crushing it all over the country, guys, that are in the cold calling on steroids community. They've been through the private master's class. So guys, don't wait, okay? Do it right now. I'm so excited to see you in the class, guys. And again, it's www.coldcallingonsteroids.com. What is it there? Is the link still up? /apply, okay? Go to it right now. I can't wait to see you guys in the master class, right? Get you immediately going, getting your business more deals, more money, more freedom. Guys, thank you guys so much for sharing part of your evening with me. God bless you guys all. I've got a few minutes here. I'm not sure. There's so many people on here, and there's probably so many questions. Let me do my best here to grab a couple of them. I know I've got Christian here on the back end. If he sees anything that stands out, or if we're getting several of the same questions here, I'd love to help you guys out real quick while we're live here. And I know a lot of you guys are jumping in right now. You've probably opened up another window and you're jumping in to the masterclass. I'm really excited to connect with all you guys individually inside of the private masterclass. It's going to be amazing and life-changing. I promise you. Testimonials. I love these testimonials, guys. And going back, those testimonials I was showing you guys, automated. Something's automated. Something, I don't know. I'm not automated. I'm live. Maybe it's something else probably. Guys, it is insane to when you become part of this community and when you have leads coming in constantly every single day. Now, look, I still do a little bit of direct mail, but not very much. Why? Because I can offer a little bit of spend, like I was saying, get so many more deals. So only 4 left. Act now. Yeah. So I think is it like actually counts down as everybody goes through them. So there's probably not a lot left. If you guys are thinking there, somebody says you offer layaway, guys. If it's a money thing or like whatever, I'm not totally sure because I know I'm gonna get bombarded with that anyways. So look, here's the thing, guys. We had to, like I said, we had to have a price point where we could guarantee that we're gonna have the time and attention for everybody in the class, and also know that we've got serious action takers. I don't want to take any money from somebody who it's their last dollars. or they have no clue what to do, and they're just like, hey, as long as I'm just going to spend this $5,000, then life's going to be easy. Like, guys, this system is incredible, okay? But you've still got to do the system once you get into it, and it makes it affordable. It's incredible. It's amazing. I give you all my secrets, the list, everything, but you've got to apply it. All right, guys. Jim. That was funny, Jeremy.
So many funny people.
Yeah. Well, we got 500 people on here, right? So, I mean, all right, cool. So, all right, guys. There's so many things coming in. All right, guys. I'm going to see you guys in the masterclass next week. I appreciate you guys. Go out there and crush it. Get a deal. Stay consistent with it. I will see you in the masterclass. And here we go.